Happy Wednesday, folks. We're back out of here after an impromptu and unplanned day off yesterday, but I'm back. So are you, obviously, or we wouldn't be here. It is Wednesday, the 11th day of March, 2026. I am Dan Kuntz. Lots and lots of weather is going to happen all the way through Friday night until we get to the weekend. It's going to start getting a little windy this morning. It's going to be downright windy by late this afternoon. The wind is not going to stop until Friday morning. Consistent, strong winds. Rain, pretty good rain. Basically from 11 o'clock tonight through 8 o'clock tomorrow morning will be the heaviest rain, but there'll be hit and miss rain starting a little bit later on today. So today we're going to have rain and wind. Mountain passes are going to get hammered with snow. We got a lot of weather to talk about. It's very active, to say the least. News, yes, sports. Kraken are doing everything they can to miss the Stanley Cup playoffs. They lost again last night. We'll have highlights of that. But the Wenatchee Wild are still alive to make the WHL playoffs. They had to win in Red Deer last night. They did in dramatic fashion. We'll have highlights of that. And even though we usually do hockey talk with Austin Draude, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild, on Tuesdays, we taped with Austin via Zoom on Monday. We were supposed to air it yesterday. We weren't here. We'll air it again. We'll air it for the first time this morning. So we can, well, I mean, we did it. We might as well air it, right? And that's my theory anyway. 30 degrees, a little chilly, but this is the calm before the storm. Let's do our cameras around the valley at 2 minutes after the hour. Enjoy this while you can, because it ain't going to last, folks. And I'm going to spit this little thing at you. Sunrise this morning will be at 7:21. We're not there yet. Sunset tonight, 7:01. So it'll be the first time that we've seen sunset at 7 o'clock or later for the first time since September 21st, which happened to be the autumnal equinox. It's been 169 days since the sun went down at 7 o'clock or later. That changes tonight. From our Hay Canyon camera, looking back over the Cashmere area towards the Wenatchee Valley. Yesterday's high was 47, below normal again. Our normal high is 51. We're below normal right now for the overnight low at 30 degrees. Normally that's at 32 degrees. Camera number 3 will take us to Billy Goats. Beautiful sunrise up there. Omak, you're at 27 degrees. That's the closest city or area that has an actual National Weather Service weather station is Omak. I don't really know what the temperature is in Bridgeport or Brewster or Pateros, what you're seeing there, but I usually use Omak as my measuring stick there. And finally to Kashmir. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. A few Led Zeppelin fans out there from high atop Stein Hill, looking back over the Wenatchee Valley. As you can see, high clouds right now. They're going to get lower. They're going to get packing full of moisture, and we're going to have some wind. There's a lot of weather going on between now and the weekend. These are your peak wind gusts, not sustained, for today all the way through Thursday. The wind will start picking up later on today. By this afternoon, it'll be downright breezy. By tonight, it'll be windy, and starting about 7 o'clock tonight, all the way through about 10 o'clock Thursday night into Friday morning, it's going to be at least windy. In some locations, extremely windy, blowing dust, a significant concern along I-90 between Moses Lake and Ritzville, and between Ritzville and Spokane. It's a distinct possibility because we are right in the bullseye of an atmospheric river, and the impacts are going to be a lot. Check out the snow totals for the Cascades. It's snowing right now in all of the major mountain passes, and this is not a mistake. Through Friday, Snoqualmie Pass is expecting 6 feet of snow. 6 feet of snow. Stevens Pass is going to get 4 to 6 feet of snow, starting really now all the way through Friday before it finally tapers off. Right now, if you need to go over the mountain passes, go now, because it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. And then, believe it or not, starting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, we're going to go sky high with our temperatures. Now, keep in mind, the passes are going to get a lot of snow. Cascades are going to get a lot of snow. We're going to get a lot of rain, and then we're going to have a dramatic warm-up starting Sunday into Monday and Tuesday, and all that melted snow and all that rain's got to go somewhere. So the rivers and the creeks this weekend are going to start climbing their banks. Told you there was a lot of weather to talk about. And here we go. from our friends at Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort care and community come together. Could see a little bit of a light rain snow mix this morning because it's 30 degrees, but once we get to about 10:30 or 11 today, it's going to start raining and it ain't going to stop. Right now the snow level is at 1,400 feet. It's going to go up to 4,400 feet. This afternoon it's going to be a little bit below normal, 48, but the rain is going to come down pretty good later today, and the winds are going to be windy pretty much all afternoon and all night. We have an 80% chance of precipitation today. Rain tonight, quite a bit of rain at times. The snow level is going to go down to 2,200 feet. It's going to be windy, going to be mild, 39 for the overnight low. Windy all night tonight, windy all day Thursday. Wind gusts tonight, 40 miles an hour. Wind gusts Thursday, 40 miles an hour. Sustained winds at least 20 miles an hour. Could see a rain snow mix tomorrow morning, and then it gets calmed down. After that, going to be windy all day. On Thursday, it's going to rain Thursday night. It's going to be windy. It's going to rain Friday morning, but we won't be dealing with the wind. All of those temperatures through Sunday are below normal. Again, our normal high is about 51. So as you can see, lots going on. We catch a break on Saturday. We start warming up on Sunday, but not very much. And then Monday, here comes a lot of warm, moist air. We'll be in the mid-60s by Tuesday of next week. Every day is going to be different. The one constant for the next 48 hours or so is going to be the wind and some pretty heavy rain, up to 1/4 inch of rain overnight tonight into Thursday. And you saw what's going on in the mountain passes. 6 feet of snow between now and Friday. I'm no expert, but that's a lot of snow. I am an expert when it comes to news, and there's a lot of that. We'll do that in 2 minutes. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
The Moses Lake National RV Show starts this Friday, March 13th to the 22nd at the Grant County Fairgrounds. Shop hundreds of RVs. Receive huge discounts. Exclusive show-only pricing. Prices this low will only be available at the National RV Show at the Grant County Fairgrounds. Manufacturer reps are on site stacking additional savings. No payments for 120 days on approved credit. Free admission. Free parking. Plus, shop like a VIP and receive an additional $1,000 off. Learn more at nationalrvshowmoseslake.com.
Fibercrete fireproof safety rooms can be the difference between life and death for you and your family. Typical fireproof safety rooms are 8x8 Fibercrete panels providing a solid sanctuary. Fibercrete safety rooms can be above ground, buried underground, or built within new home construction. Best of all, a safety room by Fibercrete is very affordable. Call 360-770-2088. You owe it to your family to find out more about Fibercrete safety rooms.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
It's pretty benign right now. Ain't going to stay that way, as you know by now. Lots of wind, lots of rain later on today. Heavy snow in the mountains. Windy all day today. Once that system pays us a visit, it's right on our doorstep. It'll be windy this afternoon. It'll be windy tonight. It'll be windy all day Thursday. It'll be windy all day Thursday night. Hit and miss rain all the way through the weekend. Batten down the hatches, folks. 10 minutes after the hour, Chelan County says its moderate risk waste facility is steadily growing in usage and waste, for that matter. According to the year-end report from the Chelan County Solid Waste Program, there were 2,270 visitors last year. That's a 3% increase over 2024 and a 90% growth over 2020. Last year, visitors brought in over 183,000 pounds of waste, the majority of which recycled. Over 11,000 pounds of material were placed in the facility's reuse cart that offers items like spray paints and household cleaners for visitors to take home and use the rest of it. Overall, latex paint was the most popular item taken to the facility, followed by used oil, oil-based paint, and auto batteries. At the same time in East Wenatchee, Douglas County is getting ready to unveil its facility. Next Thursday, the county will celebrate the opening of its household moderate risk waste facility. It'll be a ribbon cutting ceremony. They do those kinds of things, you know. Funding for the project came from reserves, grant funding, the local solid waste financial assistance program, and the waste management host agreement. The Douglas County Solid Waste Department will manage the site. It'll be located near the existing Zacher Processing Center on Batterman Road. The facility will officially open for residents of Douglas County next Friday, March 20th, and Saturday, March 21st. The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is launching a partnership with East Wenatchee to trap and neuter feral cats that are living in East Wenatchee. The city and the Animal Welfare Agency have created a $5,000 grant program to cover the cost for trapping, neutering, and releasing cats that live outdoors in East Wenatchee, trying to keep the feral population in control. The Humane Society says it normally costs about $50 to trap and treat each feline. Community members are responsible for trapping and bringing the cats in to the clinic at the Humane Society, but all the costs for treatment are covered as long as they still got the dough, and that includes neutering and basic vaccinations. Anybody wishing to make use of the grant should contact the Humane Society to find out if you are eligible. Governor Bob Ferguson signed the first bunch of bills to pass the Washington State Legislature during the session. More scheduled to receive his signature today. In a pair of Monday ceremonies, Ferguson endorsed 15 bills. One from 7th District Representative Hunter Abel changes the organization of the state's Veteran Affairs Committee. Another from fellow 7th District Legislator Andrew Engel improves the sewage treatment requirements for dense housing developments in rural counties. And a third bill requires apprenticeship programs in building and construction to provide behavioral health and wellness training. East Wenatchee City Council member Matthew Hepner, who is the director of Washington's Electrical Workers Union, said mental health shortfalls have had serious effects on the building trades.
I want to thank the legislature and the state of Washington for giving the construction and industry trades a leg up in dealing with this, but that work's really going to be done at the job boxes, on commutes, you know, those quiet moments when you're with your coworker, and we can really bring this out into the open and talk about mental and behavioral health aspects. Labor law is written in blood, and this bill is no different. But I think now we're kind of on a plane where we can actually start making a difference.
Washington State Attorney General Nick Brown says he plans to continue a lawsuit against Ticketmaster and Live Nation for monopolizing the ticketing and concert venue market. On Monday, Live Nation and Ticketmaster reached a settlement with federal authorities over its antitrust case after its trial began last week. According to CNN, Live Nation will pay $280 million in damages to participating states and will let facilities use rival companies like SeatGeek and StubHub to sell tickets. Live Nation owns the Gorge Amphitheater in Grant County, and they said they will also divest its 13 exclusive booking agreements with amphitheaters nationwide. Brown said settlements do not adequately remedy the harm caused, and he plans to continue the case that began in 2024. At the time, 39 states, along with the District of Columbia, joined that lawsuit. 26 states now plan to continue. And after the December storm, Chelan County became one of 19 in our state identified in a federal disaster declaration, and that frees up government resources to help those affected by the flooding and the windstorms. The U.S. Small Business Administration is among those agencies that have responded to the emergency. The SBA's Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience opened a temporary office this week in Leavenworth. They're going to help businesses and nonprofits and renters and homeowners apply for disaster assistance. That office remains open to all Chelan County residents through March 20th, and most applicants have until April 27th to file their claims. Outreach specialist Javier Caltenco joined our own Jefferson Robbins in our studios to discuss the process of applying for an SBA loan.
We have staff there, members, who are there to answer questions. If anybody wants to come in, there's no obligation to fill out any applications. They're not obligated to do anything. They can just go there and ask questions. If they want to fill out the application, they can do that there as well. The staff members can guide them through the process so they don't have to worry about it.
We should say that the office is located in the Leavenworth Chamber of Commerce building. That's on Highway 2, pretty close to downtown Leavenworth. But it serves all of Chelan County.
Correct, that's correct. We also have other centers in other counties that are also impacted. They can go to any of the centers that we have available.
Yeah, we should remember the emergency declaration that is bringing you here also applies to many, many other counties here in Washington as well, that had some of which have much more severe damage than ours.
Yes.
Can you tell me about the process, Javier? If someone has a business, let's say, or if they are running a nonprofit, they lost assets or property in the flooding and the windstorms, what's the application process like for them?
They can come to the center again, that's the best. I always encourage everybody to come to the center, and they can guide them through the whole process, the application process. They don't have to have everything at once, but some of the things that they should have is like their address, just basic information. Make sure they have an ID just to make sure that they can verify themselves. If they have their tax forms, they can also upload them, use them, to upload them into their file as they are applying as well. So those are probably some of the basic things. Then SBA will actually get back to them through email in most cases, and they're going to tell them, okay, you know what, we need this document, we need this other document to complete your application process.
Who can qualify? If someone is coming in to make one of these claims with SBA, who's the clientele that you're looking for?
Yes, okay, so first of all, we want to clarify, make sure that it's for homeowners, renters, nonprofit organizations, and businesses who were impacted in the disaster declared area. In this case, we have Chelan County or any other counties that are included. Another thing, we want to make sure that it was during that time that was affected, right? Which in this case is going to be December 2nd through December 22nd.
That's the period when the weather was at its most severe and the water started rising and people started to really see the impact.
Yes.
Can you tell me about, so to clarify, it sounds like it's not just a business situation, although small business is in your name. Other people can apply and may qualify as well.
Yes, that's correct. And that's, again, just want to make sure that individuals, homeowners and renters who are impacted as well, they qualify for this assistance as well.
How long does it take, Javier, from an application to the applicant getting word as to whether they've been approved for a loan?
Normally, if once they have all the documentation that SBA needs, it usually, I would say more likely around between 7 to 14 days. I've seen some, again, within 7 days, they even got notice. But we usually try to give them like a 3-week just time frame just to be safe. Mm-hmm.
I understand that the loans are very low interest, is that correct?
Yes, correct. They're fixed, first of all, they're fixed rates. And for homeowners and renters, it's as low as 2.875%. For businesses, it's as low as 4%. And for nonprofits, it's 3.625%.
Is there an upper ceiling for how much people could expect to gain through this loan process?
Yes, for homeowners to fix. Okay, so we have up to $500,000 for homeowners and for homeowners to repair or replace their primary residence. For homeowners and renters, we have up to $100,000 to repair or replace any personal property they lost. So this could be, for example, like furniture, appliances, or even a personal vehicle as well.
And for businesses, is there an upper ceiling? Let's say, you lost your office or something like that.
Yes. Good. And so for businesses, we have the economic injury disaster loan, which is, there's a limit of $2 million. We also have a $2 million limit for any physical damages to the real estate or any other property that they lost, or it could be a combination of the two, up to $2 million.
Do you know, or is it too early to say, how many people or how many businesses might have applied for this kind of service here in Chelan County?
Yes, right now it's kind of early in the process, so we really don't have that information yet.
So there's a deadline situation here. I know that this office is open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. weekdays until March 20th.
Yes.
That's about a 2-week window. But is there a deadline after which people would no longer be able to apply for this kind of assistance from SBA?
Yes, we actually want those who are affected, survivors, to please apply. If they have any physical damages, they need to apply before April 27th for any physical damages, and we have until November 24th for the economic injury disaster loan.
Javier, is there anything you can think of that I didn't ask or that you think people should know about the program?
Yes, I understand that a lot of individuals may say, oh, I don't want a loan. But some of the good benefits about SBA loan is that first of all, there's no application fee, there's no prepayment penalty. They have 6 months to decide whether they want the loan or not, or if they've been approved, they can still wait until they are 100% sure that they want the loan or they need the loan, so they don't have to take it right away. We also, for the first 12 months, they don't have to make any payments. We want them to concentrate on their recovery versus trying to make those payments. And the first 12 months is going to be 0% interest rate.
So people can apply remotely or online, but in the meantime, you have this in-person option where people can get guidance at the local office here in Chelan County.
Yes, that's correct. And if for some reason, if somebody cannot attend or they cannot go to the center, we have a website where they can do it online, which is lending.sba.gov.
Lending.sba.gov.
Yes.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, the Center for SBA Services is open at the Leavenworth Chamber of Commerce from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. weekdays until March 20th. Javier Caltenco with the Small Business Administration.
Yes.
Thanks a lot for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
You're watching the NCW Life channel.
And you're still watching the NCW Life channel, and that is the news. On this Wednesday morning, we'll be right back at it again at 5 o'clock tonight with the NCW Life Evening News, available to view on television at 5, 6, and 10. 5, 6, and 10 on our YouTube page right around 5 o'clock and our homepage right around 5 o'clock. We stream 24/7 when it works at ncwlife.com. You got a news tip, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Sports is next. You're watching a Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
A kitchen that makes mouths water and jaws drop. A bedroom from a dream with a bath from a spa. A walk-in you never want to walk out of. A pool like the fountain of youth. And a view that never gets old. When buying or selling a home of the highest standards, it's comforting to be represented by a real estate company with standards to match. Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. Live well with Coldwell.
That was a quick 2 minutes. Seattle Kraken clinging to a playoff spot, but they got to start winning. They didn't do it last night. They dropped a 4-2 decision to the Nashville Predators at Climate Pledge Arena. For the Kraken, their 5th loss in their last 7 games. They took an early lead, a 2-0 lead as a matter of fact. That was promptly erased with 3 second-period goals by Nashville.
Kakko stood up by Barron to the slot. Berkeley Catton easily converged on. And now along the boards, Shane Wright will take over. Tough angle, patted down, they score! It's Kaapo Kakko on cue, on the doorstep, and the Kraken are off and running.
Kaapo does a good job making his way back to the net front. Shane Wright from a tough angle throws it down low, off the pads, knowing you're not going to likely score from that angle, but you have a player going to the net front. That's Kakko. He's able to get the forehand on it, head up the whole way, off the right pad, perfectly played.
A pinch down by Adam Larson. The Big Cat will take it back. Stick handle along for Vince Dunn. Here's McCann. This way, Beniers with a tough angle. He scores! So much for that. Not so tough. Matty Beniers with pinpoint accuracy. He'll scoop it out to center ice. It creates a foot race, and Perbix will get there ahead of Larson. Nashville restarts. Marchessault in the skates, corralled by Svechkov. He'll dangle in. Playing along, a shot and a goal. Tyson Jost unmarked on the far side. 15:46 left to go in the second period. Nashville cuts the lead in half. Moving in. It's taken down. And Shea is kissed hard by Jacob Melanson. Because of that, the Predators will get to it. Back out to center. LaRue over the line. Shea in the slot. Wood. They'll dangle out. Pass in front. They score. The former Seattle Thunderbird, Reed Schaefer, gets the goal, and the game is tied. Myers. The face-off possessed and back up. Upco holding onto it. He'll take it in. Right out in front. And he scores. Ryan Upco scores his first goal in the National Hockey League in brilliant fashion. A 3-2 lead.
Well, how about that for a first goal? First the move on Winterton, but then he pulls it to the inside and goes back to the forehand. See the skill inside out. Got to go out under control, pulls it through. A nice play there from O'Reilly to set the pick on Myers. Gets Joey moving to his right.
17 seconds left. Seattle down by 1. They have to get it up the ice quickly. It's read by Stamkos, flung by Stevenson, picked up by Haig. 6 seconds left. Stamkos hits the target and puts it away. 4.1 seconds left. Nashville with a 4-2 lead.
The Kraken were struggling to get the puck up the ice. Had to end up just flinging it up the boards, up the sideline. It ends up being caught. Pass up to Stamkos. He's not going to miss too many empty nets from that distance.
So Nashville coming west after losing Saturday in Buffalo. Got off to a slow start. The Kraken had control of this, lost it.
Next up for the Kraken, the team with the best record in the NHL, the Colorado Avalanche in Seattle tomorrow night at 7 on both King and Kong. Seattle Mariners won for just the 5th time in Cactus League play yesterday. They held on for 4-3 victory over the Royals in Peoria yesterday afternoon. Righty Cooper Criswell looked pretty darn good. He threw 3 1/3 innings without giving up a run. He struck out 5 and gave up just a couple of hits.
Cooper Criswell has really opened up an opportunity for himself with the way that he's pitched here in the first half of spring training. Strikeout for Cooper Criswell. There goes the runner. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Rojas goes down swinging. Swing and a miss at a fastball for strike 3. Strikeout number 3. Here's the pitch on the way, and a swing and a miss for strike 3. That's going to retire the side.
That pitch is swung on a miss. Another strikeout for Criswell. That's his 5th K. And his day has come to an end. He gets a nice ovation from the home crowd here in Peoria. With the team. That is swung on, drilled center field. It is back. It is off the wall. Wisdom is going to score easily from third. Montas into second, a ringing double blasted off the wall. It's 2-0 Mariners.
Man, that is great to see. We're waiting to see Montes' power during the spring, and to see him drive the ball the other way like that. He's a big, strong left-handed hitter off the fence in left center field. To get that kind of backspin, that's his best swing of the spring. And the left-handers 0-2 to Packard, swinging a line drive into the gap. That's in there for a base hit. Rivas running second, heading for third. He is going to be waved in. Off of the ball is Rave. The long throw in is cut off. The relay to the plate, not in time, gets on by the catcher. Rivas will score. Packard will scamper along to third. Give Packard a double and a run batted in. He'll take third as the throw got on by the catcher Jensen, and the Mariners have a 1-0 lead.
Here's the pitch. Meisner cracks it high in the air, deep right field. Forget about it. A 3-run homer onto the berm in right. And this game is tied at 3. That was over the fence in a blink. First home run this spring for Cameron Meisner. A 433-foot home run that left the bat at 110 miles an hour.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, little parachute job, short right field. It's down. It's a base hit. Knight wants second. He rounds first. He's screaming into second. Head first slide. He's in there. Bill Knight scores Montes from third, and the Mariners have the lead. It's 4-3.
Hustle double by Bill Knight. Little looper down that right field line to drive in his second run of the game. Little guy has some speed.
Seattle stays in Peoria today. They got the Rockies at their complex at 1:10. Just like the Revolution, it will not be televised. Took a while for Gonzaga and men to get going, but they did get going. They put it together in the second half, and they are the WCC tournament champions again. They're going to the big dance. They were going anyway. They are 30-3 on the air after knocking off Santa Clara 79-68. Big Ten tournament enters its second day today in Chicago. The meat packer of the world, and the Washington Huskies will try and keep their postseason hopes alive. They'll take on Southern Cal. That's at 11:30 this morning, only available on Peacock. Gonzaga men won, Gonzaga women won. They both win the WCC tournament championship in Las Vegas. Gonzaga beat Oregon State by 10, and they are off to the big dance. The Wenatchee Wild are still alive for a playoff berth, barely, but they are. 5-4 win in overtime over the Rebels in Red Deer last night. Mason Kraft scored the first goal and the last goal. The game saw 4 ties and 3 lead changes.
Over to the middle point, Toll, backpedals, Kraft, top, left circle, holds, shot, goes off a couple of bodies and in. A double doink ends up going in for the power play goal for Wenatchee. A horrific bit of luck there for the Rebels as the Wild tie this game at 1 as Mason Kraft celebrates the goal. Another shot from the right point. Condro save. Rebound loose for a split second. It's still loose in the slot. Brigley back to get it out of harm's way. He's going to bank it off the right boards, but not out. Shot from the left point. Scores. Zane Torrey tips it in against his former club, and we're tied at 2. Tipped in front. They score, and Jodry puts it home, and just like that, the Wenatchee Wild lead this game 3-2. Down into the slot. Another shot. Scores. That Rebels lead is awfully short-lived as Aiden Grosskloss fires home the loose puck, and with 3:42 left to go in the third period, we're tied at 4. Quick pass over to Kraft. Cross center to the Red Deer line. Up the left wing. He's got room to the net. Shot. Scores. Kraft wins it for Wenatchee in overtime, and the Wild take this one by a score of 5-4 as Kraft lulled everybody to sleep on that play and fires it past Matthew Condro for the game winner.
Yeah.
Rebels settle for the single point. Wenatchee celebrates the victory.
Wenatchee is in Edmonton this morning. They dropped the puck at 10 a.m. Austin will tell you about it when we visit the back half of the program. Then they have back-to-back games in Prince George against the Spruce Kings over the weekend. Those are just some of the games that people are playing at 34 minutes after the hour. Happy Johnny Appleseed Day today, a real-life person. Johnny Appleseed, but he didn't plant the first apples in this country. That belongs to the Pilgrims. They actually planted apple trees shortly after they got here. The only native apple to this continent is the crab apple. All the other apples, and there's a ton of varieties, were all either made or imported. The largest apple ever picked, 3 pounds. That's a big apple. To produce one apple, the apple tree must collect enough energy from 50 of its leaves. And if you like your apples ripen quick, and they will ripen about 6 to 7 times faster at room temperature than they will in the fridge. And America's longest living apple tree lived for 220 years and didn't die of natural causes. Got hit by a train. It's Johnny Appleseed Day today. It's 34 minutes after the hour today in history. There are blizzards, and then there are really big blizzards. And on the eastern seaboard of the United States, the blizzard of 1888 took place on this date in 1888. 400 people died. 40 inches of snow in New York City alone shut down everything. They had fires that broke out that the fire department couldn't go out because they couldn't get their fire trucks out of their stations for an entire week. Most people couldn't even get out of their homes. 50-mile-an-hour winds, but one good thing came out of it. Before the blizzard of 1888 in New York City, all of the infrastructure, the telephone lines, the electricity, everything was above ground on poles. And in Manhattan, they buried everything. Figure that might make things a little bit easier. It also inspired the New York City subway system because the above-ground trains also stopped running as well. The blizzard of 1888. John McGraw was the longtime manager of the Giants, but in 1901 he was the manager of the brand new Baltimore Orioles of the brand new American League. And on this date in 1901, he signed Charlie Takahoma. There's John McGraw. Charlie Takahoma was signed to play second base for the Orioles. John McGraw passed him off as an American Indian, Charlie Takahoma. Only he wasn't an American Indian. He was an African American. His real name is Charlie Grant. John McGraw was trying to get around the blatant racism that dominated baseball in 1901, the color barrier. So we said, no, he's not African American. He's a Native American, Charlie Takahoma. The gig was up pretty quickly when Charles Comiskey, who owned the White Sox, said, I remember that guy. He played second base for Columbia last year. He tried. It didn't work. And why Germany didn't declare war on us after this date in 1941 is beyond me. Britain was all alone. It was Britain against everybody else. In March of 1941, Britain could buy all the munitions and ships and everything that they needed to fight a war so long as they paid for it. But by March of 1941, they didn't have any money. So FDR came up with Lend-Lease. Lend-Lease was signed into law, which basically said, Great Britain, we will lend you munitions to fight the war. And when you're done with them, just bring them back. But nobody wants to buy used gum. And any pretense of neutrality on our part was over. Why Germany didn't declare war? They didn't. They could have. They had every right to do. Let's do some birthdays, shall we? His family immigrated to South Dakota from the Ukraine in 1892. He didn't even speak English until he was in his 20s. The family spoke German at the household. Lawrence Welk, born in the state in 1903. When he was just a kid, he said, Dad, I want to be a musician. And his dad forked over $400 to buy him an accordion, which is pretty much all the money the family had. That's like $6,000 in today's money. That's a lot of money, but it launched a legendary music career. Lawrence Welk. And Rupert Murdoch is 95 years old today, and he's on his fifth wife. Can you say prenuptial agreement? For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsor. Mike Mignotti has his critics. Who they are, I don't know. And then Hockey Talk with Austin Draude from up in Red Deer. That's when we come back. You watch Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
Hey, this is Mike, Mad Dog Mignotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I post a lot of stuff on Facebook that gets strong reactions. So since a lot of these posts point out Christian hypocrisy or the mind-boggling idea that Trump is the poster boy for many evangelicals, I get a lot of backlash. Again, primarily from my Christian brethren. Now, I'm not going to say that I don't care what people think, because I do. But as I often say, I don't care enough about what some people think to do anything about it. But I will tell you this. I care a heck of a lot more about what unbelievers think about me than I do my fellow Christians. Sorry. This is Mike Mad Dog Mignotti, and that's my opinion.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
You build more than projects. You build what communities rely on. When the job site runs on results, put Kubota to work. Backed by expert service and support from your local Kubota dealer. Right now, bring home select Kubota KX Series with 0% financing available or save up to $4,800.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
Every Tuesday, come home or away, we visit with Austin Draude, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild, for our Tuesday hockey talk. Austin is joining us from beautiful Red Deer, Canada, where they will be taking on Red Deer tonight. Then they're in Edmonton, and then they're in Prince George. It's a long road trip, geographically speaking, for the Wenatchee Wild. First of all, Austin, you safely made it up to central Alberta, I see.
I did. We did on Sunday night. Made it up here to Red Deer about 10 o'clock or so. So got Monday settled in, and they're ready for a couple games here in Alberta this week.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy week for the Wenatchee Wild. It should be pointed out that they only have one more home game left, and that's it as they make their final push for the playoffs. But we're not going to gild the lily once again. When Austin and I got together last Tuesday, we had 51 points. We were 10th in the West, and here it is the next Tuesday. We have 51 points, and we're 12th and last in the West. Mathematically speaking, Austin, we probably should get this out of the way. Do we have a chance to make the playoffs?
Mathematically, yes. We're 9 points back of the playoff spot still with 7 games to go. So the number's dwindling a little bit, but as of right now, this group is still in the race.
But they have a tall task. Red Deer is fighting for a playoff spot. It's not as important as the situation, say, for Prince George, which is coming up this weekend, but Red Deer has a lot to play for. We don't normally see Red Deer because they're in the Eastern Conference. They are currently in 8th, which would put them in the playoffs by just the hair of their chin. So Red Deer, they have as much to play for as we do tonight, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. This is a group that has a lot to play for right now. The battle for that last playoff spot in the East is very, very tight right now. So every point matters for this group right now from Red Deer, and this is a game that just as much as we want to win, they're looking to go out and take from us here tonight.
To recap quickly, over the weekend, Friday night up at the South Okanagan Event Center, we lost to Penticton 4-1. Not really. The Penticton simply outplayed us. We played the V's pretty much straight up most of the game on Saturday at the Town Theater Center before Penticton pulled away with a 5-3 victory, scoring the last 2 goals to break a 3-3 tie. So we are taking a little momentum by playing a very good V's team very close on Saturday night.
We really are. You look at the game on Friday night, and they came out ready to set pace, and really did that on Friday night against us. And then you look at Saturday, we got the opening shot of the game. We scored the first goal of the game with a power play goal from Mason Kraft, and power play looked really, really good on Saturday, especially early in the game. So this group put together a good showing on Saturday. Not quite finished we wanted to see, but the power play and everything else, the pace, looked a whole lot better than it did on Friday night. And you take the small victories where you can get them sometimes, and it was a very disciplined game for this group on Saturday. Didn't give up a single power play to Penticton, and that's the second time we've done that this year. We've been able to do that a couple of times here of late.
Unfortunately, and I watched the video, I saw the injury to our goalie, who is now out of action for a while. At the time when I saw the video, it didn't look like it was too serious, but it's enough to knock him out of action. So somebody from your organization has to drive to Calgary and get our new goalie that we just picked up. Talk about that situation from Saturday night.
Yeah, so Tobias, just from watching the video and talking with a couple of guys after the game, it looked like when the play was headed the other way, one of our skaters was skating back following the play. One of the Penticton players got wedged in between them, and Toby got a little bit tangled up, a little bit twisted up, but got twisted up in the wrong spot and went down. Was taken out of the game about halfway through. So Cal Conway came in, finished the game, had a remarkable finish to the night. 22 for 24. He looked really, really good in that stretch. But yeah, Tobias is not on the road trip here this week. We got Mark Jomo coming in from Dallas to fill in as a second goalie, maybe even a number one goalie for some of the time during this week. And we saw him against Everett. He backed up for us against Victoria. He's a young goaltender with a lot of upside. We've seen good things from him already in limited time and some practice this year. And he's, I think we'll be in good shape with him on our bench. And if he needs to be ready to go, we'll get him into the game. And I know he'll look good when he gets in.
We talked about this a few weeks ago, right after the trade deadline. Once the trade deadline comes and goes, your roster is set. But there are exceptions to that rule. Is this one of those times where, because we're down a goalie and you kind of need goalies, that the league lets you do something like this, or was this guy already under a development contract?
Yeah, he's under a contract already. We signed him we signed him last summer, I believe. So. Yeah, we've got Mark under contract, and we've been able to bring him in. He played against Everett right before the holiday break, so he's gotten some regular season time with us. But yeah, the trade deadline means we can't exchange players between teams until the end of the season. But if we've got players under contract, we can bring them up. We can move them around to our affiliate teams if they're going back, and we can sign guys that are already on our protected list and bring them into play as well. So we've got some options, even though we can't exchange players between teams until the draft day coming up in May.
It's a long road trip from Wenatchee to Red Deer. That's why they took 2 days to get there. It's about 800 miles, but it's a much shorter trip from Red Deer to Edmonton. That's the good news for the Wednesday game. But the thing that struck me is it correct that the Wednesday game against Edmonton is like a mid-morning matinee? Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, so every year the Edmonton Oil Kings have what they call a hockey hooky game, where a lot of minor league teams do this as well. 1 or 2 times during the season, they'll bus kids in from all over their metro area, and it's basically a field trip for the kids. And sometimes, depending on the team, they'll work with the school system and build a curriculum around it. There are lots of different. You can do math with angles on the puck, or you can do physical education, health for building your body for athletics, whatever the case may be. But they'll bring in kids from all over Edmonton. They'll pack an NHL arena for what up here is an 11 a.m. game. Back in Wenatchee, it's a 10 a.m. game. So it's going to be a very quick turnaround tomorrow morning, but it's a chance to play in front of a crowd that is bigger than most of these guys may ever get a chance to play in front of.
Is that just an Edmonton thing, or do other teams that are based to the north of us, to our friends in Canada, do a lot of teams do this kind of play hooky and do an afternoon weekday game for the kids in that area?
In the Western Hockey League, it's not real common, but around the minor leagues and some of the other leagues in the United States, there are a lot of teams that do this. The ECHL and quite a few AHL teams, it's a very common thing to bring in a hockey hooky game or a field trip game like this one. So not quite as common in the Western Hockey League, but in the minor leagues, it's very, very common to see. So we're glad to get to be a part of it and play in front of as big a crowd as we'll see all season, home or away.
We mentioned before, Red Deer is an 8th in the East. They're trying to hang on to that 8th and final playoff spot in their conference. Edmonton, Wednesday morning's game, they're already in the playoffs. In fact, they're pretty solid, I think, number 4 seed right now. What can you tell me about the Edmonton club we're going to play tomorrow morning?
Yeah, so Edmonton has been battling all season with Medicine Hat for that top spot in the Central Division. Medicine Hat just clinched that spot, but they've got a lot of strong scoring talent on that team. Goaltending is something that they've been working on throughout the season, but they've got a lot of scoring, a lot of high-end talent on that Edmonton roster. So this group will need to be turned around and ready to go pretty quickly on Wednesday. It'll be kind of a throwback for these guys. You know, you're coming up through Bantams and Pee-wees, and you're playing a lot of tournaments where you might play an evening game on a Thursday or Friday night, and then you head back to the hotel room with mom and dad and your team, and you get back onto the ice early in the morning, and you play another game the next day. For a lot of these guys, I think this will be kind of a throwback to their foundations in the game coming up to the junior ranks back when they were younger kids.
And again, that is Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. for you folks, if you want to listen or watch it on the Victory website, which is the feeder network, the television for all of the WHL games. And then we're back into the correct time zone and the correct conference with 2 games against Prince George on Friday and Saturday. And Prince George, just like Red Deer in the east, Prince George in the west, they have a lot to play for too.
Yeah, they're point for point matching up with Kelowna right now for the number 3 spot. Penticton is very close to wrapping up their division championship and a top 2 seed, but somebody's got to be number 3, and it's right down to Kelowna and Prince George right now. So it's been a battle all season long between those 2 teams. Kelowna's really surged in the second half of the year as they built for the Memorial Cup, but Prince George, they've got a lot of high-end scoring talent, and they've got Josh Ravensbergen back in goal again this year. So it's a group that has a lot to play for right now, and Prince George, you always know, especially late in the season with something to play for, they're going to get a good crowd, and I think they'll get 2 good ones again this coming weekend.
Here we are with just, 6 games remaining, I think, in the regular season. This is probably the point of the season here as we get into March, that you don't really have to, you know your opponent's pretty good. I mean, we don't know all about Red Deer or Edmonton because we don't play them, but Prince George we're pretty familiar with, and that helps the team prepare, especially after a couple of days in a bus.
Earlier in the season, it's been a little while. I think it's been since before the trade deadline, so there will be some new faces on that team. But yeah, the coaching, the style, the structure is all the same, and we got a chance to see them a couple times earlier in the season, and I'm sure the coaches and the boys will be going back a little bit to those games to see what Prince George might be throwing at them. We got a win against them back in November, so we'll be looking to do that again on the road up in their building coming up this weekend.
What kind of preparation, logistically speaking, has to take place for this kind of long road trip? As I mentioned before, something like 800 miles from Wenatchee to Red Deer. It's a short trip to Edmonton, and it's a lengthy but not really long trip to Prince George. A lot of logistics have to go into this, from meals to bed times to bed checks to the time change to rink time. How does all that work together? Who's in charge of making sure everybody is where they're supposed to be at any given time on these kind of trips?
Yeah, the coaches have a lot of work that goes into this. Like you said, hotels. We've got several different cities we're staying in. Kind of like being a rock band on tour here this week. We'll play four gigs in 5 nights here in several different cities. But yeah, it's between the hotels and the meals, the ice time. The guys are on the ice here early Tuesday morning, getting ready for the game tonight. So there are a lot of logistics that go into it. The coaches are. They've done this before, and they've got everything down pretty well. But yeah, there's a lot of considerations that go into how to get this thing set up for a big road trip like this one. This one probably will go as our longest of the season.
What do you do, Austin, to kill time, not only in that long bus trip, but to kill time as you prepare to call the games against Red Deer, Edmonton, and Prince George? You have some considerable amount of downtime. You're at the rink right now, but what do you do when you have just free time on these road trips?
Yeah, try to do a little bit of prep in the hotel or sometimes in the rink. Get things set up a little early. Try to work ahead as much as you can. But in addition to the prep, sit back and do a little bit of find something to read or work ahead on the social media a little bit. Keep things going. We got another home game to prepare for on March 20th that we're trying to pack the Wolves Den for. So doing some work ahead on that to get some content out and remind folks that, hey, we got a big one coming up next Friday night, so you're going to want to get tickets for that one. And a lot goes into promoting that game and getting seats filled for what may be the final home game for a couple of these guys in junior hockey.
Is there a brethren among the hockey play-by-play guys amongst all the teams in the WHL? You guys kind of all know each other. They help each other out with phonetics or pronunciation or maybe a little light scouting report, so you're fully prepared as a play-by-play guy. So will you get together with your brethren from Red Deer or Edmonton during the course of this week just to talk hockey and find out we're all on the same page?
We really do. I like to tell people, we've got a lot of really good sports information directors in this league who do a great job with rosters, keeping track of who's on their team and who's healthy, phonetics, so that we can call the game correctly, and storyline, scouting notes on these guys. So we've got a very good brotherhood in this department of our league, and we do a lot of helping each other out as this time goes along. We're not just partners and coworkers, but we're also pretty good friends. And fortunately, we see Cole Waldy up in Prince George a few times during the year, and I think he's one of the better buddies for me here in the Western Hockey League so far.
Again, to recap, Red Deer tonight at 6 o'clock, Edmonton Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. our time. Thank you, Daylight Saving Time. And then back-to-back games with Prince George at 7 o'clock on Friday and at 6 o'clock on Saturday. And then they finally get to come home, and then they go on the road again, as he mentioned, as Austin mentioned. They only have one more home game left. So, Austin, we will see you here in the big city next Tuesday. Is that correct?
Sounds good. We come back Sunday morning, so we'll see you a week from today.
Safe travels and go wild, my friend.
Go wild.
All right. Thanks, Austin. We enjoyed it. And you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Rain, wind. In fact, we have a high wind warning that begins at 8 o'clock tonight. There are 3 levels that the National Weather Service uses: advisory, watch, and warning. Warning being the most serious. And there's your peak wind gusts for today through Thursday. It's going to get windy, and it's going to stay windy for a very long time. There's your wind direction and your wind gusts for the period of the high wind warning, which is a long time to have a high wind warning. It is snowing right now to beat the band on I-90 and on Stevens, not on Blewett. Between today and Friday, I-90, Snoqualmie is going to get 6 feet of snow. Stevens is going to get 4 feet of snow. Traveling through the Cascades is going to be close to impossible by the middle of the day today. And on top of all of that, we're going to have all of that snow, and then it's all got to go somewhere, because we'll be in the mid-60s by the middle of next week. It really starts on Monday, and a sudden warm-up with all the rain in the lower elevations and the snow in the Cascades. That water's got to go somewhere, so the area rivers, creeks, and streams are going to start going against their banks. Rain today, starting at about 11 and lasting pretty much for the rest of the day and overnight tonight. Quite a bit of rain, quite a bit of wind as this atmospheric river, which is right on our doorstep, will be here in about an hour or so. So rain today, rain overnight tonight, perhaps heavy rain, windy today, windy tonight, rainy and windy on Thursday, heavy snow in the mountains as well. We finally catch a break for the weekend. That's a lot of weather, folks, and that's a lot of show. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.